Hello again, everybody. I'm Ron from Ron's Personal Fitness, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the secret diet that's out there that is going to work for you. Um, First, let's go over some of the diets that are out there. And we're not going to talk about fad diets like the cabbage diet or the soup diet or anything like that. But there's carnivore, keto, low fat, low carb, Atkins, 40 30 30, high fiber, vegetarian, vegan, gluten free. A lot to choose from. That's not all of them. The issue with those is which one of those is going to work for me. Maybe I would be better off joining Weight Watchers, or maybe I would be better off going to Jenny Craig, or maybe I'd be better off finding pre-made meals like Factor, or the services that give you all the ingredients to cook your own meals. It doesn't matter. They all work, and none of them work. And when I say that they all work and none of them work, I mean that for most people, if you find a program that you can stick with and you eat in a calorie deficit while exercising, you will lose weight. You won't lose weight forever, so you have to find something that you're going to like to stick with so that when you reach your goal weight, you will be able to maintain your goal weight by eating however it is that works for you. Now, some people will respond to a low fat diet, but if we have a low fat diet, that usually means we substitute in carbohydrates. So we end up with a high carb diet. If we have a low carb diet, well, that usually means higher fats because we don't want to have a low protein diet unless we're suffering from some sort of a medical anomaly, some sort of a kidney problem, for example, where too much protein could be detrimental to our health. For the most part, we want protein to be high. So, or at least a majority of our diet. So that's what the 40 30 30. It's 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat. So there's a balance in the carbs and fats in that diet. Carnivore diet is almost exclusively protein, where you're eating nothing but meat and high fat foods like cheese and so on. Um, and people lose incredible amounts of weight, and their blood profiles, their triglycerides go down, and their cholesterol goes down. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Um, Similar to a keto based diet where you start to get the body used to burning ketones instead of carbohydrates for energy. So, all of those things, if you want to be vegetarian, you may find it harder to get protein into your diet. And there are some studies and evidence that backs the fact that a pure vegetarian diet sometimes leads to health problems in and of itself. Just eating fruits and vegetables can leave us lacking certain nutrients and certainly keeps us lower in proteins, the certain types of amino acids that we can only get from animal sources. So, you know, our body just can't make some of them. They're called essential, which means we have to get them from our diet. And we are, in the biological sense, omnivores, which means we are capable of eating everything. There was a time back in prehistoric times where we ate more grasses, so we used our appendix to break down cellulose. And now we don't necessarily do that so much in our diet. So the appendix is becoming an organ that is vestigial, or an organ that we do not need any longer. And you can certainly live without it. And for certain people, they have problems with their appendix, they have them removed, and the appendix almost kills them. So it's over time, we learn to adapt to eat different foods. Our teeth indicate that we are made to eat both vegetable roughage as well as we have sharper teeth in front to cut through meats. So, and we possess the digestive enzymes secreted from our pancreas to break down proteins, carbs, and fats. So we are not designed to eat just meat, nor are we designed to eat just vegetables, but a logical blend of the two would probably be most healthy. Not to mention that the more diverse your diet is, the better the chance of getting those micronutrients that we need in the form of vitamins, minerals, and so on. So, if you suffer from true celiac disease, and I say that because most people who think that they have it are self diagnosed because they have digestive issues. So they go, oh, I have celiac disease, I need to be gluten free. Well, the truth of the matter is, less than 1% of the people who even think they are aren't, or less than 1% truly are, I should say. The other 99.9% of the people um, actually do not suffer from celiac disease, thus, eliminating gluten from their diet has really no effect, other than making you think you feel better, which can make you feel better. But if you have a true condition that gluten is a negative factor in that condition, well, then you want to be on a gluten free diet. But for the rest of the population, there's no reason to be on a gluten free diet. Which brings me to my overall point is that because we are omnivores and because we are designed to eat a variety of foods, we need to have a diverse diet that is in a deficit for our maintenance calories in order to lose weight. It it doesn't get any more simple than that. And I hate to oversimplify it for the people who are struggling, but that's it. If you are not losing weight and you don't have some condition or you're taking a medication that is interfering with your body's ability to burn calories, you are simply eating too much. Okay, that is the cold hard truth of the facts. And the the only way that we can overcome this is if you're not losing the weight, then you need to start weighing your food and keeping a very strict log of everything that goes into your mouth, and that way you can control what the numbers look like. Start with your protein. Make sure you're getting about 3/4 of a gram per pound of body weight. If you weigh 100 pounds, you need 75 grams of protein a day. 75 grams of protein is 300 calories. Each gram of protein contains 4 calories. So 75 times 4 is 300. And the rest of your day, it can be made up of carbs and beneficial fats. So as long as you're getting your 300 calories a day worth of protein, everything else just, I've heard the term backfills. Okay, we just backfill our diet so that it makes up the rest of it. Could we live on the 300 calories alone of the protein for a while? But then you're going to become so hungry that you're going to go back to overeating very quickly. So we want to get up close to maintenance, back it off so that we're starting to see a loss of weight. And it doesn't have to be a loss on the scale, but a loss in your clothing. Okay? If your waistline of your clothing is suddenly getting bigger, then you're losing weight, especially in the correct place. If your clothing is getting tighter, you're probably putting on weight. So even if you don't own a scale, you can tell if you're gaining or losing weight. You can also tell by looking in the mirror. One thing I like to tell my clients is you cannot flex fat. So if you look in the mirror and you tense up and you want to see those cuts of definition in the muscles, and it just sits there, well, that's fat, and you can't flex that anyway. So go by the mirror as well. So you can go by your number of holes in your belt. You can go by the way your rest of your clothing fits. You can go by the mirror, or of course, you can go by the scale. Now the scale can be a little deceiving because of putting on in water and losing water weight and stuff like that. over the past weekend, I wasn't feeling very well, and through dehydration and things like that, I lost 11 pounds practically overnight. So, certainly that wasn't fat, but it was weight. So, um, so there you go. So if you will follow these simple rules, and if you decide that, you know, I think keto sounds great, I'm going to follow a keto friendly diet. Well, study up on everything that you can about keto, the good, the bad, the ugly. Follow it to a T and see if it works for you. None of these will work. You can be on the best diet in the world, the best nutritional program in the world, and if it's more calories than you require for a basal metabolic rate, remember we talk about the minimum amount of calories that we need to operate the machine that we are, plus whatever energy expenditure. Okay? So if you are on carnivore, okay, and you're eating nothing but protein, you're eating nothing but meats, and man, this is just supposed to make the pounds melt off. One thing that you'll find is if you're eating too much meat, you're not going to lose any weight. It's as simple as that. Too much is relative to you. Too much for me might be not enough for a bigger guy. Something that's too much for you might be nowhere near enough for me. It all depends on your size and your activity levels. Okay. One other thing I want to touch on are these diets like the Atkins diet, carnivore diet, keto, and so on. That some people will say, "Oh, I can't eat just meat. I have high cholesterol or high triglyceride levels in my blood, fats in my blood." Well, the truth of the matter is that when you go to the doctor and have your blood drawn and you get the results back and it says, your cholesterol level, your low density lipoproteins is, 250, okay, and your high density, which you'd want to be, a little higher, um, they're out of whack. You hear that? Their cholesterol is out of whack. That is not cholesterol you're ingesting. That is cholesterol you are producing. And you need to produce cholesterol for cell membranes and hormones and nerve transmission and a lot of functions of the body are reliant on cholesterol chains to provide the structure to do that. Okay? So if you artificially lower your cholesterol too low, you can actually interfere with functions of the body. Not to mention, a lot of these cholesterol lowering medicines will affect the liver. They are hepatotoxic. And in order for them to not be destroyed by the stomach, they are manipulated in such a way that they survive the first pass through the liver as well, which is very dangerous to the liver. So you will find that being on these high protein diets and carb free diets and things like that, that your numbers will actually improve because your body will now be producing the proper amount, not in excess, because you're not very efficient at utilizing it. So you will become a more proficient machine, okay? And you'll say, I have eaten nothing but meat for 3 months, and my cholesterol went down and my triglycerides went down. Well, it turns out that those numbers are most greatly influenced by processed carbohydrates anyway. So if you get rid of the Little Debbie snack cakes, uh, no offense to Little Debbie, it's just that we don't want to eat too many of those every day. Um, if you get rid of those processed carbs, your cholesterol will improve anyway. So replace those with more protein. Okay? So put me to the test. Get rid of all of the processed carbohydrates out of your diet, keeping the fruits and vegetables, and substitute in more protein if you're not getting your minimum amount of protein grams per day in your diet. And then go to your doctor and have your blood tested again and watch that those numbers will have improved. Over time, they may very well become normal and you don't need any medicine at all. Some people are like that. Some people, they may have other conditions that their doctor needs to keep them on certain medicines. But I promise you, if you if you cut out the processed carbs and stick with the natural carbs, um, things that are one or two ingredients like rice. If you pick up a package of rice and the ingredient panel says rice, that's fine. All right. If you pick up a package of rice flavored stuff and it says artificial chicken flavor, artificial color to enhance vibrant yellowness, all of these things, and then rice, well, then you aren't eating just rice, are you? Okay? So put it to the test. If you pick a diet, stick with it for at least 3 months, 90 days, and see how it does for you. You'll know within the first week or two if it's working. But that doesn't mean to give up completely if it doesn't. Just find the one that works for you. Because somewhere out there, there is a meal plan that absolutely will work for you despite all the excuses that you can come up with. If you don't like to track your food, hire a company that tracks, you tell them how many calories you need. They prepare the food and send it to you in a box once a week. If you don't like to cook, okay? If you're really into meal prepping and you like to weigh all your food and have it all perfect, that's a good Sunday afternoon. All right, getting out on the grill, cooking up a whole bunch of chicken breasts or steaks or whatever it is that you like, and then weighing out individual portions to have with your sweet potato or rice or whatever carb source, your broccoli, your green beans, uh, doesn't matter, some sort of a nice fibrous vegetable with that. And there's your lunches for the week. You just saved yourself hundreds and hundreds of dollars going out to the fast food restaurants. Okay? So keep all that stuff in mind. It really is that simple. If it isn't working for you, get with me. We'll try to dissect it down and we'll figure out why it isn't working for you, because there's no reason why any one individual, that the laws of nature don't apply to you. Okay? Whether it's thermodynamics, calories in, calories out, or whether it's, just the fact that we are designed to eat a variety of food, being omnivores. Okay? So until next time, I'm Ron from Ron's Personal Fitness. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.